Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear student. My name is Tazbiullah and I will teach you class 8 General Science. So let's start. First of all, the word is science. Science, that is a knowledge that is gained through continuous observations and experimentation. So that knowledge is called science. In science, first of all, observations are made. Observation means the initial information about some problem. And for observations, the five senses they are used. And sometimes also the help of some instrument. So first of all, observations are taken about the problem, and then the scientists give a tentative answer, and that tentative answer to the problem is called hypothesis, and then hypothesis is tested for experimentation. So if experiment prove that hypothesis true, then that knowledge become science. For example, nowadays the problem that is corona. So what is the cause of coronavirus? So the scientists have collected some of the observations, some of the information, and then they tested to experiment, and experiment said that the cause is actually that is a virus, and the name that is COVID-19. So it becomes science. Now the science further it have some branches, and these branches, the main branches, that is biology, chemistry, and physics. In your general science book, some of the chapter units belong to physics, some units belong to this branch, chemistry, and from unit number 1 to unit number 4. These units belong to this branch of the science, and that is biology. So I will teach you online this portion of the general science biology portion, that is from unit 1 to unit 4. But first of all, a little bit I will tell you about the biology. That what is biology? Biology, that is a branch of the science. Biology, it is a branch of the science that deal with the study of life. Actually, biology, it is the combination of two Greek words. Bio, it means life, and logi, it means study. To study something, reasoning, knowledge, that is called the meaning of the logi, that is to study something. So how we will define the biology? Biology, actually this is the branch of the science in which we study about life. So the study of life is called biology. Now unit number 1 of General Science book of class 8, the title is Human Organ System, and this chapter is related to the biology. Human organ system. This is the title of the unit, human organ system. Let's introduce the unit. In previous grades, you have studied a little about the level, structure, level organization of the life, about something, cell, tissue, etc. You know that all living body is composed of cells. And cell, this is the structure and function unit of the body. And then the cells combine and it form tissue. Similar cells that perform same function, then it is called tissue. And then tissue combine and it form organ. And then organ combine form organ system. For example, tissue like epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, etc. Later on we will study these tissue in very detail. When these tissue combine, it form an organ, and let's suppose that organ is stomach. So in the stomach all these tissues are present, and then different organ combine and form an organ system like intestine, esophagus, etc. When these organs combine, it forms a system, and that system is digestive system. And that digestive system is called organ system. So inside the body there are different organ systems. And these organ system, you know, these organ system like digestive system, respiratory system, excretory system, reproductive system, nervous system, etc. In this chapter we will discuss two organ system. One is nervous system and another is excretory system. So human organ system, what is human organ system? And in this chapter we will discuss two organ system. First of all the nervous system and another is excretory system. So first of all we are going to discuss the nervous system. Nervous system. So what is nervous system? This is an organ system in the human body which carry message. So let's define a kind of system in which carry message from one part of the body to other part, and make us feel and react accordingly the stimulus. So this system, this is called nervous system. Let's explain this nervous system definition with the help of an example. So if you touch a hard object, let's say this is a candle, so this is a hard object. If you touch this hard object, so at once you jerk your hand pain. Why? Because this is because of nervous system. So there are stimulus, this is the stimulus, and there are some sensory cell. It receives the message is carried to the brain analyze and give order to the muscle, and the muscle contract or relax, and we draw back our hand from that hard object. So this is nervous system. Now there are components of the nervous system. There are two main components of the nervous system. First one is called central nervous system. It is also called CNS. And the second one, that is called peripheral nervous system. It is also called PNS. So first of all, we will discuss the central nervous system. The central nervous system, there are further two parts of the central nervous system. One is called brain, and another second part, this is part A, and the B part, that is called spinal cord. So these are the two main components, parts of the central nervous system. First of all, we will discuss brain. This is the first part of the nervous system, brain. Brain is also called the control center of the nervous system. All the activities are controlled here. And inside the brain, there are billions of the neurons are present. What are neurons? Later on in some lecture in this chapter, we will discuss in very detail about neurons. So it is composed of the neuron cell. Brain, first of all, there is protection. Brain is protected in the cranium bone. This is the cranium bone. So inside this cranium, this above part is called cranium. As a whole, this is called skull. So a case is provided by this bone, and in this case, bony case, the brain is present. So that is called in the protection. First of all, that is provided by a bony case. So brain is present there. And the others protection, that is meninges. Meninges, actually these are three connective tissue, three layer of the connective tissue. Let's suppose that this is the skull of the human. So this is the brain. This is the brain. So this is protected by this cranium bone, and below this bone there are three layers, and these three layers are called meninges. Three layers of connective tissues, and these are present here below this cranium bone. 1, 2, 3, and between these layers there are also some fluid. This is also called cerebral fluid, and it also works as a shock absorber. So the protection of the brain, that is by this cranium bone and also by this connective tissue, the three layers membrane, and that is called meninges. So that was the protection of the brain. The weight, the average weight of the an adult person brain, that is almost 3 pounds. That is 3 pounds. That is the adult average weight of the brain. Next come toward the parts of the brain. What are the parts of the brain? Brain consists of three main parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. So first of all, we will discuss the forebrain, then midbrain, and then the hindbrain. So first of all, the forebrain. Forebrain. This is the largest part of the human brain, and further it consists of three parts. First one, that is cerebrum. The second one, that is Telomers, and the third one, that is hypothalamus. Let's discuss each part of the forebrain one by one in detail. First of all, the cerebrum. Cerebrum. As a whole, this is the largest top portion of the brain. And this is convoluted form. This is the brain. So this topmost portion of the brain, that is called cerebrum. Actually, this is the transverse section of the brain. So there are further, cerebrum have two parts, two portions. One on right side, that is called right cerebrum hemisphere, and the left one is called left cerebrum hemisphere. So in this diagram you can see only the one part, the right part or left part. So each part is called hemisphere. So this is hemisphere, right or left hemisphere. So this is the right hemisphere, and on the left side there is also the same structure, the same hemisphere, but that will be called left hemisphere. And further at this point it is connected with each other, and between these two hemispheres there is a groove-like structure. The right hemisphere, they control the activity, the movement of the left side of the body, and left hemisphere control the movement and the activity of the right hemisphere. So this was about the structure and the position of the hemisphere of the cerebrum. Cerebrum control the sensory function like sight, smell, speech, hearing, touch, etc. So these functions like hearing, speech, touch, sight, etc., that is controlled. Even taste is also controlled by the cerebrum, this main part of the brain. Except from these sensory function, the cerebrum also control some advanced function also, like learning. So learning, they take place in the cerebrum. Intelligence, that is also controlled by the cerebrum. The memory, that is also controlled by the cerebrum. Your volunteer movement, the movement that is in your will, like I bend this hand, so this is a volunteer action. So all the volunteer actions, movement of the body, that is also controlled by the cerebrum. So this is the first part of the forebrain. The second part of the forebrain, that is called thalamus. So thalamus, it is present inside the brain. This is a small structure and it is called thalamus. It is present inside the cerebrum. Thalamus, it control is a relay station. It take the message from lower brain and then it distribute the nerve impulses according to the center of the brain. Like sight, let's suppose this side is for the taste. So the nerve impulse, they come from lower brain or lower body region, then it is distributed to the respective area by this thalamus. So this thalamus, it work as a relay station. It distributes different nerve impulses according to their center where it is analyzed. So this is about the thalamus and its function. The next part of the forebrain, that is hypothalamus. Hypo means below, so in this region the hypothalamus is present. This is hypothalamus. This is the second part of the forebrain. This cerebrum, that was the first part of the forebrain, and the third part of the forebrain, that is hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, it controls the temperature of the body. So it also works as a thermostat, like in refrigerator or in a conditioner. There are thermostat that control the temperature of the body, like the human body temperature, normal temperature, that is 98.6 Fahrenheit. So that is controlled and maintained by this hypothalamus. So this was about the first part of the brain, that is forebrain. Now come toward the next part, that is midbrain. Midbrain. This is the second part of the brain, midbrain. As the name indicate, mid mean darmiyan, middle area. So this brain, it is present in the mid. This is the mid. The midpoint of the forebrain and hindbrain. So this midbrain that is very reduced in the human, and it connects the hindbrain. Later on we will discuss the hindbrain to the forebrain. So this area, this is called midbrain. Some function that is also controlled by the midbrain, like vision, hearing, sleep, and wake up cycle, by the midbrain. This midbrain, it also control the contraction and relaxation of the human eye pupil area. So it also adjusts the amount of light in the pupil to concentrate on the retina. So in some cases it also involved in the sight, in the vision, the midbrain. Now come toward the last part of the brain, and that is hindbrain. Third part. Hindbrain further consists of three parts: cerebellum, please note that in the forebrain we discussed that was cerebrum, R-U-M, and this is cerebellum, L-U-M. At the end is A-U-M. So this is first part of the hindbrain. Then another part that is called bone, and third one that is called medulla oblongata. So these are the three parts of the hindbrain. Now let's discuss these three parts one by one in detail. Cerebrum. This is the cerebrum area. Cerebrum. And this is the second largest part of the brain. Second, the largest part is cerebrum, and the second largest part there is cerebellum. And this cerebellum, it controls the posture, the balance, the movement of the body. So the movement, the posture, the locomotion, etc., that is controlled by the cerebrum. That is the function of the cerebrum. Another, this is a small lobe, oval shaped lobe like structure. It is present here. That is called bone. Actually, this bone, it works as a bridge between the cerebellum and the last part of the brain, that is medulla oblongata. So it works as a bridge, and it also takes impulses from medulla oblongata and forward it to the upper part of the brain. So that is bone. Bone, to some extent, it also controls breathing, sleep, and regulate the movement of the eye. So that is also controlled by bone. Now come toward the last part of the hindbrain, that is medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. This is the posterior elongated part of the brain that is further extended to the spinal cord, and that will be our next lecture. So this elongated portion of the hindbrain, this is medulla oblongata. And medulla oblongata, it controls the involuntary function of the body. When the whole brain they at rest, so the involuntary function that is controlled by this medulla oblongata. like your hunger, your digestion, your breathing, your peristalsis. So all these involuntary functions that is without your will, that you cannot control it. So that function is called involuntary function. So all involuntary function that is controlled by this medulla oblongata. So this was about the first part of the central nervous system, and that is brain. Inshallah, in the next lecture that will be the second part of the central nervous system, and that will be the spinal cord and so on. So thank you very much.